Y'all, it's Risa with another speed build. So, I have had some builder's block, as you guys might have noticed from the lack of videos. Just the lack of videos in general. So this time I thought I would go with something I know pretty well, and I made something based on the Botanical building in San Diego, in Balboa Park. So if you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, let me tell you. So in San Diego, there's this park called Balboa Park. It is gigantic. It has a bunch of museums and stuff in it, and it has a bunch of buildings that were created for the 1915 World Fair. I think it was 1915. Probably. It was either 1915 or 1917, but it's back in that time area, between 1915 and 1917. And a lot of those buildings are things that got turned into museums, like the Museum of Man. There's also a gigantic building that has been turned into classrooms and a theater, one of them, which actually I would love to make in The Sims one day, because I know that theater like the back of my hand. And one of those buildings that I'm pretty sure this one was created for the World Fair was the Botanical building. So it is a building that is made of wood slats, and it is filled with, it's like a botanical garden, but it is made purely of wooden slats that they also go all the way up overhead, but we obviously don't have something like that in The Sims. We don't have a wooden slat roof, so I've gone with a glass roof instead because it gets the kind of feeling across, especially since you can get beautiful sunlight in there during the day. I struggled with the roof a lot because it ended up being really nice, and then I had an issue of trying to make it work properly. But that's okay, I figured it out. There's also a giant lily pond out in front of the Botanical building. I'll probably include some pictures in the thumbnail at least, but if you look up Botanical building San Diego, then you'll see what I'm talking about. I didn't make it a perfect recreation. I just used it as a starting point. And I spent a lot of my childhood and teenage years right around this area. I used to work for and also be a part of. There's it's the oldest youth theater in the nation, San Diego Junior Theater, which is if you see where the Botanical building is, what I'm working on right now, if you went right that way, you would see the building I was talking about before, the lovely thing that's been turned into a theater. And it's used by a lot of different youth companies specifically. So the San Diego Youth Ballet uses it for part of the year. San Diego Junior Theater uses it for part of the year. And a bunch of others do as well. So I decided to put in these windows from Eco Lifestyle because while that's not really how it looks, it brings in the feeling more of how the wood slats are in the building. And again, I'm not doing a one-to-one recreation or something like that. I was just building something that looked enough like it that it made me feel like home. In a way, I lived in San Diego for the first 23 years of my life, and so I've been in the Botanical building a whole bunch for school field trips and just, going to hang out there. It's free. Well, at least it was when I was younger, and it was closed on Mondays, and that's about it. So it's just a really nice place to go and relax, and it's beautiful. And the thing about it that I've always loved is that they have all the plants in different, they're set up in ways where it's there's one part that are all of these boggy plants, and there's another part that's all of these desert plants, and there's another, so it's all of the plants of one type are put together, which I'm assuming is so that it, like, it's easier to take care of them. All the ones that go in the same soil are going together. So I wanted to do something like that, and you'll see I do that in a bit. I also wanted to make this a park, because it seemed like the best kind of venue type. Is that what, I don't, are those the words? Are those the correct words? Or am I just making shit up right now? Who knows? So I wanted to make it a working park, so I do include 2 chess tables, and I include like a playground in a little bit, and some barbecues and stuff like that, so it's fun. I really enjoyed using the Strangerville debug objects for my, like, desert bit, so I enjoyed that. I think this was a lot of fun because it was a lot of doing landscaping, which I enjoy landscaping. I didn't used to. I used to hate landscaping a lot because I wasn't very good at it, but I think I'm a lot better at it now, so I usually have a lot of fun doing it. I could have also put some rocks in, but I like almost cried yesterday. Actually, I did cry, just to be real. I was just not having a good time. I've been having builder's block for weeks now, and I just didn't know what to build. Everything I was doing, like, just on my own wasn't turning out well. So that's why I kind of chose to do this thing that's something I know well, So I just did this, and I took some liberties with it, but otherwise that's just kind of what it is. So in that middle section, where I did all of the, like, ferns and stuff, in real life, right there is there's like a Venus flytrap there and some pitcher plants, but I didn't want to actually put down the Venus flytrap that they have. So I ended up doing just like making it like ferns and stuff you'd find in like Granite Falls is what I used a lot of right there. And then I have this corner over here, which is our Jungle Adventures stuff. So I did in fact include an avocado tree and a plantain tree there that you can actually, like, they should be usable. I don't know if they actually are, but I thought it was like a nice thing to add in because it's something that would work there. There's also benches and everything inside. I know this, he's my husband now, but when he first came to visit me in California, because he is English, he's not American, so he came to visit me in California when we first started dating, and I took him here, and I remember us just like sitting down on one of the benches and just chilling, because it was so hot that first time he came to visit me. It was like it was during one of our like Santa Ana heat waves, which if you're from Southern California, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. The Santa Ana winds are winds that come in from the east. Usually in Southern California, the winds come from the west. They come off the coast, which is what keeps it nice and cool during the summer months generally. When I say cool, I mean it's only in the 80s instead of in the 90s every day. But certain times of the year, the winds shift, and so they come in through the east, and it's off the deserts, basically. So you get these really, really hot, and very dry winds, and they're very, very strong winds. They're usually about, like, they can go up to, like, over 100 miles per hour, at the worst. But we were having the Santa Ana winds, and it was the first time he'd ever been in any kind of heat wave that was like above 85 degrees, and it was like 105 degrees the first day he was like there, and we were going to go to the zoo in Balboa Park because the San Diego Zoo is like super well known, but it was so hot he got sick. So instead, we ended up just kind of walking around Balboa Park a little bit, and we went into the Botanical building because it's cooler in there, because it's kind of shaded, and there's all of this, like, wet earth that keeps it like nice and cool, really. So I'm just remembering that. I had some problems with the lighting in one section inside. So if you download this, which it'll be up in my, it's already up in my gallery under my ID kookykitt. But you might want to try and fix the lighting. I couldn't get it to work. It was better after I left the lot and loaded it in to take screenshots. So it definitely is better in live mode, but for some reason I was having a lot of trouble, and it has to do with the roof, I think. But the entire building inside does count as inside, even though it doesn't have a floor. So there's that at least. But I still am not quite sure what happened there, but it's fine. It's all usable. So that's fine. But yeah, I had a lot of fun building this, to be honest. I've built the Botanical building in Minecraft as well before. Apparently, I find a building, like a game where I can build things, and I'm like, you know what this needs? This needs the Botanical building. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, the one in Minecraft looks better because I was able to use like fence pieces and slab pieces to make it actually look like the roof and everything, and the whole building is like, it's slats and stuff, so it actually looks better in Minecraft than it does in The Sims. But, you know, it's still nice in The Sims. I'm actually really excited. I'm gonna put this in a lot of my, saves, because I think it's beautiful, and it has everything I want it to have in it, and it makes me think of home. So yeah, but I built this over where Magnolia Blossom Park is in, gosh, why am I having Willow Creek, right? Oh my god, I just could not think of the name of it suddenly. That's fine. But I was, words. Right, I was trying to think of, like, I wanted to make a park, and the first thing I was thinking to myself was, oh, I will make I'm gonna make a park with an observatory in it, because I can never, like, fit observatories in builds, and I think that's something that's really fun and cool to have in this building. Not building, but in this save, to be able to have, like, if you have someone who needs to get their logic up, it's so much more fun to use the, like, observatory, but you can't really fit it on a lot very well, especially if you are trying to be in a smaller lot. But then I was doing that, and I was like, but you know what would be a better park? The Botanical building. So I did that instead, which, honestly, it worked out. I think it's really pretty, to be honest. I tried to not use too many things with industrial footprints because I want this to stay green, especially since I did use a lot of real plants. I didn't use too many debug plants at all. So it should be pretty green. Oh, you see that? That was editing magic of I needed to go to eat, you know. It happens. But, I actually had a lot of fun doing this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at this lily pond, and I'm like, I love it. I don't understand why that one roof sculpture thing wasn't going on top of my roof, and I still can't figure out why. I ended up using a different one, because there is, like, the roof is more like there's a dome in the middle as well. And there's, like, this beautiful, like, spire on top. But I couldn't do anything like that in The Sims. Which, like, that's fine. It didn't need to be there. But I really wanted it to be there. You know what I mean? It's like when you have this idea in your head of what something's going to look like, and then you can't make it look like that. It's disheartening. But that's okay. Everything's fine. It's just not exactly like I wanted it. Which, again, valid. I did also have, my husband was watching me do this, and he was giving me pointers as I was going. So, there aren't windows here, but it looked so plain to just leave it as it was. So I ended up adding windows because I thought it looked better. Because obviously I couldn't have like the slats that are there. So I had to make do. And I didn't want to use columns because columns are super weird with roofs. It would have taken way too much effort to do. So I just didn't. Because I was building this in Willow Creek, I wanted to use the like trees and stuff that are already there. In real life, it's a bunch of palm trees. Like, to be real with you, it's a bunch of palm trees. And some oak trees and some gigantic fig trees. Is that what they actually are? I always assumed it was a fig tree, but I don't know if it actually was. There's this gigantic, very old tree in Balboa Park. I don't know how it's doing. I wonder how that tree is doing. It's over 100 years old. It's gigantic. You're not allowed to climb on it anymore because it's kind of dangerous. So we weren't allowed to climb on it. There's a gigantic fence keeping you from doing it. So that was fun. But I wonder how it's doing. I love that tree. It's a fantastic tree. So I wanted to include a little playground. So this is a functional park, but I didn't want it to be like too big. So I've like taken one section of the lot and turned it into a little playground. There's actually a lot of like play sculptures and stuff in Balboa Park that you can use. There is definitely no grilling allowed because it's a state park, I'm pretty sure. I'm so mad that I forgot to change the floor on that bridge. Oh well, it's fine. It's fine. I have so many fond memories of this place. So I was trying to make it look... It's hard to make things look like you exactly want them to in The Sims, but I think I did a pretty good job of making it look at least enough like I wanted it to, that I'm actually pretty proud of how it turned out, and I'm pretty happy to put it on the gallery for other people to also like download and play with. I think it's fun. The landscaping is a lot sparser though, but sparse landscaping in The Sims looks really bad. I don't know why. There are a lot of things in The Sims that look really bad that look fine in real life. Sparse landscaping, just houses in general look like if you're gonna build a regular house, right? Then you would really want to, like, in the Sims, you want to make it look very interesting. So we generally add like bump outs and stuff to make it not look flat. But in real life, we have like houses that look like boxes, right? Like just complete square houses. And it doesn't look weird in real life. But that's partially because in real life, you're not looking at houses from every angle. But in The Sims, you are. So in The Sims, we're like, we need to just mix this up. We need to change this. It looks weird. But in real life, it doesn't. And that's the same thing with, like, there's an entire section at the end of this lily pond with just tulips. Like, kind of sparse looking, but it's just tulips. And that looks fine in real life. But if I tried to, and it looks fine in Minecraft too, but if I tried to do that in The Sims, it would just look really sad. So I didn't. Instead, I made a lot of very luscious landscaping, very full. And I had this section on the other side that's just empty. And in real life, that's like a building. There's a building right next to it. That has classrooms in it that are often used by the youth ballet and by San Diego Junior Theater. So instead I wanted to build like, and then further along there is just a fountain like in a square. It's a whole thing. I don't know how to describe it very well. But instead, I decided that I was going to put down like some picnic tables and just a place for people to just kind of chill if they were here. I just used that bathroom, that it's like public bathroom, and I know that's not like great in The Sims. They don't really like that. They're not a fan of it, but to me, it's better than having to build an entire bathroom on a lot that it wouldn't really make sense to have a full room. So, and I wanted to give that tree for shade for people who are there picnicking, you know? So I gave them that nice shade, whereas on the other side you can picnic without shade if you want to. So I was into that. We are coming towards the end of this video, and I'm still really proud of it. I hope you guys like this as much as I do. If you would like to download it, as I said, it's on the gallery under my ID kookykitt. I think I literally named it Botanical Building or something like that because I'm being honest here. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up and leave a comment telling me what you like about it and what kind of like park you'd like to see next or other venue. If you guys like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit that bell button to get a notification every time I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out, y'all.